Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have been thrifting the last couple of days specifically for books, so I've been looking through so many books on so many shelves in different op shops. I got quite a few really cool books and I thought that I might just show you what I've got and maybe help share some ideas for different ways that you can use these books and also any books that you thrift. So I went to the tip shop, which is our dump, our recycling center. So it's a great way to use things that were being thrown away as well. I also went to some other secondhand stores and my cat is here and she is purring like crazy. So specifically I was looking for fairy tale books because I'm in the middle of making some fairy tale books and I have a lot of fairy tale storybooks that I like to use already, but I always keep my eye out for more. And so I specifically was searching for those types of books on the shelves when I was visiting these stores. So I've also got some other types of books here which I'll share with you in a minute. And I think all of these books all together cost me less than $15. So I got this book here, this fairy tale book. I am pretty good at finding these particular books. I have quite a few of them, and to be honest with you, I buy them thinking they would be perfect for junk journals, but I end up just giving them to my kids to read because they're such beautiful books just the way they are. So I'm not sure if it will make it into any junk journal, but I grabbed that one. I also grabbed this little Bo Peep. I realize this is more of a nursery rhyme than a fairy tale, but when I make fairy tale books, they just have a certain vibe to them. It's not necessarily that they're full of real fairy tales. It's just that I like them to have that kind of magical, imaginative vibe. So any books that have that vibe, I can kind of use and utilize in my crafts. This one I don't absolutely love, but it does have some cute illustrations in here that I thought I might be able to use. And it's not in the best shape, so I grabbed that one. I found at two different shops, two different pop-up books. This one is again in really poor shape. It's got some sun damage on the cover. It's all falling apart. Some of the pages are ripped, but I figured I am an artist. I like to make things, and no one else is really probably going to really enjoy this book because of how damaged it is. So I grabbed it and I thought I can use some of these pieces in the journals. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet. I think I might use some of these as like little paper dolls or little pockets on some pages. I think that will be really, really fun. So there's some great stuff in here that I can try and utilize and give a second life to. So I got that one. Then in another store on a different day, I got another pop-up book. This one's Tom Thumb. I think this one's in pretty good shape actually, but I thought I can do the same sort of thing. I can do something creative with this, create little pockets, or otherwise my kids can just enjoy this book as well. It is in pretty good shape, so I grabbed that one. Then I grabbed this old Hansel and Gretel book. So this one, again, it's kind of squashed. The spine of the book squashed down. It's not in great shape. It's not in the greatest shape. It's got some torn pages and some repairs. This one feels really old. The pages feel kind of frail. And look how cool this is in the front there. So this book's pretty old. And I just really liked the illustrations that it has. It's got some really nice images. The story of Hansel and Gretel is so sad. It really is so sad. Every time I find these Hansel and Gretel books, it makes me so sad, but look how beautiful that is. That deserves to be on the front cover of a book for sure. So I grabbed that one. I also grabbed this version of Little Red Riding Hood and Other Tales. This one's a little bit newer, I think. I'm just going to flick through. You can hear the pages on some of these books are really sticky just from their age and their condition that they're in. But I grabbed this one. Again, not completely in love with this one. It's not completely the style illustrations that I really love, but it does have some cute stuff in here as well. So I grabbed that one. This book I grabbed, it's not really fairy tales, but it has some really cute illustrations in here. Just give you a flick through. Like, look at this page, would you? Isn't that beautiful? So this page, there's another page like this in here that I saw was what sold this book to me, because I just thought that was so cute, great for cutting apart. Like, it's just so beautiful. Here's the other one. So you can cut these up into little cards or do some different things with those. I thought those were so cute, and this page as well. So really, really sweet illustrations in this book. Love that book, so got that one. And then the last fairy tale book I got was this one. I found this one before, so I bought it again. It's got Hansel and Gretel, Jack and the Beanstalk, and again this one has some really nice illustrations. I've used them before in other fairy tale books that I've made in the past, so whenever I see this one I grab it. Again, not in perfect condition, some pages are falling out, so great to reuse and give a new life to. This one's not a fairy tale book, but I did grab it just because I thought that the illustrations were nice. This is an older book as well. The writing on the inside says 1982 when it was first given, so a pretty old book, and I just liked the illustrations in here. They have a nice vintage vibe to them, so like this one, really cute. So I grabbed that book. Now the next book I'm going to show you is my favorite book I have ever found ever in a secondhand store. This book, I found it this morning, and I just about slapped the book closed as soon as I peeked inside it and ran out, because not ran out without paying, ran out to the counter to buy it, because I felt like everybody would want this book. It's so beautiful. It's called Learning with Colour, Butterflies and Moths. The cover itself is really nice, a really nice blue, and it's got this beautiful butterfly gold pattern on the front. So nice cloth cover, really beautiful book. I opened this up to one of the pages just by random, and yeah, I pretty much just went mine, put it in my basket, and I checked it out a little bit better once I got home. This book is stunning. It's missing part of the end papers here, but they're complete in the back. So look at that. Isn't that so beautiful? So all different butterflies and moths. And then just about every page in this book has really stunning, colourful illustrations of all butterfly and moth related things. So it's just stunning. It's such a beautiful book. Let me give you some close-ups. The colours are so nice. The paper's a beautiful off-white colour, and it's also completely matte. I hate it when I find books that have like a shiny plasticky feel paper. This paper is really nice. It's like a soft matte paper, and it just has the most beautiful illustrations I have ever seen. It's stunning. Such a beautiful book. So not only is it stunning, but there's also so many pages in here. It's a really nice big book with so many illustrations on like every single page. So absolutely gorgeous. I definitely think this is one of my best finds, especially in the book category. Next, I grabbed this dictionary. So this is like an illustrated dictionary. Let me just flick through. This one, again, I wasn't crazy about it, but it is cute. So it's just got different illustrations and words and what each thing is. These are really fun to add to junk journals as pages. I think they're also really fun to journal with. If you are journaling about a specific thing, you can find that word and then you can have that kind of go along with your journaling. So it's a really nice little thing to have. So I got that one. Then I'm going to show you this one. This one has such a beautiful cover. Look at that. So this one is called A Victorian Scrapbook. And again, I found this one at the dump, or the tip shop. I've been calling it the dump because that's what my son says. Let's go to the dump. So this book it actually had this book jacket on it, which I've taken off, but it's really beautiful as well. I took it off just to see what was underneath, and I thought this was so stunning. So this was the book jacket. And I'm not completely sure what I'm going to do with this book. I think it might just be an inspiration book, something that's nice to flick through. It's in really nice condition. The end papers are amazing. If I was going to use anything in this book, it would probably be the end papers. But this type of paper is the silky, plasticky feel paper that I was talking about before. So not my favorite type of paper. It's kind of like a thick magazine. The pages in here are it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just like a collection of different Victorian things, and they're laid out in a way where it's not really the easiest to cut them out if that's what you were going to do. So some of these you could cut out, but a lot of them are kind of cut off. So the way that the pages are doesn't make it easy to do that if that's what you're planning on doing with it. That's why I say it might just be a nice kind of inspirational book, because the pages are kind of collages of different Victorian ephemera and illustrations, but it's really beautiful just to look at as it is. If anybody has any thoughts or ideas what you would do with this book, I am leaning towards just keeping this as a book to flick through and be inspired by, because it is really nice and really interesting just to look at the way that it is. The cover is so pretty as well, so I got that one. And then the last books that I'm going to show you are plant books or flower books. This one I got for using in junk journals. Again, I thought the papers were really cool. It's quite aged and kind of gross, but the pages are okay. So this is what the pages are like throughout the book. It's pretty much all this green paper, these green tables with all the info. And I just thought they would look really cool as junk journal pages as well. So I grabbed this one for using in junk journals. The other two I grabbed as reference books. So these are two flower books. This one's roses and this one is called Garden Flowers. And I grabbed these to use to practice drawing and painting different flowers, because I feel like that's something I would like to practice. So I figured I can use these books just to look at different shapes of flowers and leaves, and I can practice drawing different shapes and kind of hopefully get a little bit better at pulling different flower shapes from my mind, from my memory, rather than always having to look up different reference images for different flowers. So it's just something that I personally want to practice. I love floral papers. I love designing papers, and I want to get better at designing floral papers. So it's something that I want to practice for myself. And so I was particularly looking for books that I could use as reference. And so the other one I got is the Roses book, and again it's the same thing. This one just has heaps and heaps of different photos of different types of roses. There are so many different types of roses to practice drawing, and they're just so beautiful. So I got this book as well for practicing drawing different flower shapes. So those are all of the books that I've got within the last couple of days. I feel really happy and really lucky with my finds with my books. These are the types of books I typically look out for when I do search for books, and I don't always search for books just because it takes such a long time to look through all the titles. And I find that whenever you're thrifting books, and specifically for junk journaling, you have to take the time to really look in pretty much every book. You have to really check them out, look inside, and it takes a lot of time. So sometimes I just don't do it, because if I start I have to look at every single book. But this just goes to show that when you do stop and you do look and you take the time to check, sometimes you can find some real treasures and things that you can give a new life to, especially when it comes to looking at places where things are going to be thrown away. So the tip shop or any secondhand shop where things are sometimes not in their best condition, they're kind of at the end of their life. You can reuse them and you can make them into something really special. So I hope this video gives you a bit of inspiration, different things that you can use in your journaling and in your crafts, and gives you some different ideas for ways to use things, because you can really get creative with them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you in my next one.